All right, so we're going to Michi's Endgames technique, and we're now to well, his chapter 4. So just to review what we've gone over and the key points, chapter 4 is about the 3-point and bearing off against the 3-point anchor. And so this is actually a very simple chapter compared to the others. There's a lot of the same concepts that we've had before apply, and so this is kind of the last of the easy chapters. We get into some more complex stuff going forward, but this will help us review a lot of the same ideas that have gone. So here's sort of the summary of what we've gone over. So for the closeout, and that's when your opponent's on the bar, and all you basically have to do is bear off. Is we're looking at structure, the even, odd, and looking for short-term safety. Don't leave a shot. Clear, and the main ideas are clear from the rear, avoid gaps. That's kind of the idea, and those ideas generally run through. And your percentage, your chances of winning are pretty good. It's about 97%. Obviously, it depends on where the other checkers on your opponent's board are, but it's a very high win percentage. So you play very safe, and you're pretty much going to win. Ace point game was a different game. Your chances of winning are roughly only 80%, and then again, it depends on where the other checkers are and things like that. So it's a much more difficult game. You're likely to leave shots even if you play it perfectly, as long as your opponent has the timing. So your goals are different. You're looking for the mountain structure or the pyramid structure. Which means basically spares, usually on the 3, 4, and 5 point. You're looking for non-anchor safety. You're generally going to clear from the rear and avoid gaps, just like all the other times. But we're not looking for the even. In fact, even can have some really bad rolls against the 8 points. Gaps are bad, as they usually are. You've got to pay attention to the deuce point. You don't want to pile on the deuce point. But generally, it's generally a good idea to keep a spare there. But again, don't pile, because you'll get stuck in the end. Against the deuce point, it's a better game than the ace point, but bearing in, but still a lot of it's not nearly as good as the bear off. Still a lot of chance for your opponent to hit and come back. But we're looking more for short-term safety. A lot like to close out. Clear from the rear. There's this idea sometimes you can take 2 off, or clear a point, or take 1 off. And generally, taking 2 off is the same as clearing a point, which is better than just taking 1 off. So again, short-term safety, count your shots. Try not to leave any. Be in a position where you're going to leave shots next time. Let's see. All right, the rest is a little more advanced. But so for the 3-point, it's simpler. It's 90% to win. Generally, again, depends on without checkers. We're looking at more short-term safety. You want to count the shots that are. It's actually count the rolls that leave shots next time, and you want to minimize those. Clear from the rear. The only thing we have to worry about that Michi focuses on is clearing the 6-point. First, and that's the difficult point to clear. And when once you've done that, you're not completely free, but you've crossed your biggest hurdle. Okay, so we'll go through some examples that he's got, and so we have a 4-1, and so what do we think with the 4-1 here?
6-2, 6-5.
6-2 and 6-5.
Yeah.
I'd take 2 off to try to get the gun.
Mm-hmm. So those are kind of the 2 choices. 2 off to get you more likely to get the gammons, unless of course you get hit. But 6-5, 6-2 clears the 6-point. And so according to Michi's rule, you probably want to do that. And so that is the better play here. And the idea here is, and let's look at it, 63% gammons versus 64% gammons. So you do pick up a few extra gammons by clearing 2, but it's not a lot. And your wins go from 92 to 88. So these are, I mean, obviously you can't do that in your head over the board, but these are just sort of guidelines. So what's the, if we take 2 off, what's the problem with this position after taking 2 off?
6-3 leaves a shot.
Yeah, and as I said before, any of these positions where your opponent has an anchor, you worry about the last check, or the last point that you have, and the distance. So the 3s are back. So it's going to be a 6-3 or double 3. So if you had a checker here, you're going to double 3s leave a shot. So we don't have that here. So yeah, 6-3.
And another 4-1 makes you kind of ugly, What are you gonna do with 4-1 if you roll it again?
Normally, the first, your first objective is, okay, we don't want to leave the shot next time. Usually that's enough. But as Elena said, the 4-1, you're going to do something like this, which is kind of ugly too, because this is not this leave shot. But look at this. Look at the 6-3 here though, and see what you do. And this, I think, kind of shows why this is bad, because you have this. This is a 6. Now where's your 3? Well, it's this one or this one. All right, you leave a double shot, which is something really to be avoided, and that's the danger of that one is why the right move here. Well, I think it's why the right move here is to clear the point. Okay. Now, slightly same 4-1, but slightly different. Now, is there anything different that we should think about here, or is it still clear the 6-point?
6-3 still going to leave a shot. If we take 2 off.
Yeah.
But only a single shot.
But only a single shot this time, yeah.
Still 6-2, 6-5.
Yeah, that's still correct here. It's closer. It's almost even. And here, and the answer is, I think that's the impact of the 6-3, because 6-3 is not nearly as bad after this roll. But it's 92% wins, clearing the 6-point, 53% gammons. Here it's 90% wins at 56. So you lose 3% or 2% on wins and pick up a few percent on gammons. So very close. But again, you look at what are your rolls after the move, and this position is a whole lot better than this position. And so that's why this one is not nearly as bad. It's not nearly as bad to take 2 off here. Okay.
But the right move is still to clear the 6.
It's still to clear, still to clear the 6.
You do leave the 6-5 shot. So you don't leave a shot with 6-3, but you do with 6-5.
Where in this position, or
If you clear the 6.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, and the other position. Yeah. So if you clear the 6, you've left 6-5, and here you've left 6-3. So yeah, so both leave 2, but here, with clearing the 6, you've now cleared the 6 point. And it's 1 less point to clear. Okay. The 2-1.
6-5 and 6-4.
Okay, well, those are,
6-5, 6-4.
2 off, 1 off.
oh, I'm sorry, yeah, so we can, right, we can take 2 off, okay? And, or we can clear the 6 point.
Clear the 6 point.
So, okay, so what are we running up against here?
6-5.
After this, it's, 6-5, that's it. So one bad roll here
6-3.
and 6-3, but we've taken 2 off instead of none off. So there's always that trade-off. Let's see what the answer is. Here it is slightly better to take 2 off. Because you get the 2 off versus none off, and you're leaving the same number shot next time, but it's very close. So I would go with, now I think this is going to matter if there are more gammons involved. Let's see. Here, black has less timing, and here, well, so it's the same, so it doesn't matter. Let's make it even more. Yeah, and it still doesn't matter. I was thinking that it might matter to get 2 off if you're going for gammons. But this shows that it really doesn't. It's the safety that matters. But these are about the same. Again, it's two off versus clearing a point and taking none off. So in this case, taking 2 off is a little bit better, but if you're trying to, reduce the number of things. I'm sorry?
What's the difference in gammons between those 2 plays?
For this setup, it's 30% for 2 off and 27% for clearing the point versus, and 94% wins for clearing the point versus 93%.
That's right.
So very close plays. I would, my recommendation is just remember, clear the point when you're playing the 3-point anchor. We get to some exceptions here. Here's a little trickier one.
Clear the 5 and 1. Clear 1 5-point and clear 1 1-point.
So you're going 5 off,
And
5
1
4. Okay, yeah, taking 1 off. So what are your bad rolls here?
6-3.
6-3 is right, is bad. Well, and one more.
3-3.
Double 4.
No, not double 4.
Double 3.
Double 3.
Double 3 is right.
Double
Yeah,
3.
remember, the bad one is take the last point minus the number of pips between that and the anchor. It's 3. And so it's going to be 6-3 or double 3s. So here your double 3s leaves a shot, and 6-3s leaves a shot. So you got three bad numbers here.
Can you say what you just said? What did you say about figuring out the shots that you're leaving?
So when you have an anchor, and this applies whether it's a 2-point anchor or the ace-point anchor. So let's just go over that. The bad rolls here that you have to worry about are 5s. So a 6-5, actually a 6-5 here leaves two blots. You're forced to take this one off and this one off. Okay. But even So that, that's where, that's your numbers, or double fives.
5-4.
In this case. What, Jacob?
5-4.
5-4. Yes, 5-4 is also bad.
And 4-4.
Yeah, so you kind of have to go through all the, but 5 is the one that's going to lead most, is going to be the problem one here. So that's, so you basically have to go through all your 5s. Same
Oh,
thing
I
with,
see what you were doing. So you knew that there were 3 behind. So the 3, so you looked at the 3s more than,
yes. So yeah,
Okay.
and in our position, we're focusing on the 3s here.
got it,
Because that's going to be where the problem is.
got it. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so, and here, let's look at,
But if you roll, if you,
I'm sorry, Les?
I'm just confused. Going back to the other one, if you rolled a double 4, wouldn't that leave the blot?
Which one were we looking at?
The one that had, yeah,
Oh, yeah, now, yeah, in this case, yeah, here's a double 4. Well, here, the fours are what we're worried about here. So we're worried about 6-4 and double 4s. 5-4 is a problem. What, 4-3? 4-3 is a problem too.
Wow, I guess I never considered that, but that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, so you go through, you gotta go through all the 4s. And it's usually going to be like the highest number and coupled with a 4, because you're forced to move the last one and you can't move it to the next one 4. But also the double 4s are bad. And then as Jacob just pointed out, there are other bad 4s here. Or in this case, other bad 5s, if we've got the ace point, depending on where this, where your spare is. Okay, back to this one. So we talked about moving up 2, taking 1 off and moving up 1. And we've got 6-3 and double 3s are bad for that. We could also, what could we also do? We
Clear
could
the
take
6
2 off.
points.
Okay, then now what do we have? We've got, well, 6-3 is still bad.
And double 6 and
Double 6 and double
5.
5s, that's 4.
And double
Double
4.
3s.
Oh, not double 4, no.
No, double 4s are okay. Let's see, it's 6s and 5s are bad. Double 3s are bad. So that's 3 and then 6-3. So that's 5 bad numbers.
Actually, 5-3.
5-3 is bad. Yes. So that's 7 bad numbers. All right, so I wouldn't do this one based on that. Here's another one we can do. Which
Double 6, double 5.
6s, 5s, 4s are okay. Double 3s are okay. Although not ideal. Okay, so it would look, from this. So where we started from? No, we started from here. So yeah, so 5 off, 5-4 seems to be the best play, at least a fewer shots. Okay, and that's the case. Now, surprisingly, this one This one doesn't sound so bad, actually. And I think we came up with a lot of shots here. Let me just check. This is the one. Michi says something that's very funny, I thought, about this move. Because he usually doesn't say things that are funny unless he's got the cartoon. But he says regarding this move, 5 off, 1 off. He says, beware the careless play 5 off, 1 off, which brings him to another ugly structure, which has several bad numbers. 3, 3, et cetera, leave a flop. Also, you will be heading straight to hell with a super ugly structure after you roll 3, 4, 4, 5, 4, 6, and 5, 6 from this structure. So those are kind of strong words for Michi. He usually doesn't get into that, although actually we'll learn about the devil's number later. So there's a lot of religion in this particular book. But you know, it doesn't look so bad, and XG doesn't really give you that warning about the dire consequences of making this play. So, anyway, I think if you stick with counting the shots after you make the move, you're in the best shot, and keep that one in mind in case you're worried about going straight to hell.
Why
Okay.
is 6, 5, 6, 1 so much worse? Comes in 3rd place.
Which question, Roger?
I said, why is the 6, 5, I mean, 6 off and 6, 5, no, 6, 5 and 6, 1 is so much worse. It's in the 3rd worst position. Why?
Well, okay. So what you've got at, it's and you know, this isn't terrible actually. It's the 3rd best play, but it's not awful. It's not like this one, which would be really stupid if you did that one. So let's look at it. You're leaving. And if Michi mentions, I don't think I've reported, but yeah, leaving 5 checkers on any spot is usually not a good idea, because big doubles leave a blot. And here, what are we worried about? I guess we're not so bad here, because two is the worst number, is the bad number to worry about here, and double 2s aren't bad, and the 5, 2, 6, 2 isn't bad. So because we've got the 2 covers, so this is not really bad, but it's the double 5s and double 6s that get you into trouble here. And if you roll even double 4s, you'll take 2 off. Oops. You'll take 2 off. Oh, here he is. Double 4s. You take 2 off, and then take these 2 off. And this is not a good position to be in. I mean, you haven't left a shot here, but there are a lot of shot leaving numbers next time if you do that. So the answer to Roger's question, it's the big doubles to cause you problems here. And then if you get if you roll a 4 or 3, you got to move this checker here, and then you also roll another 4, 3, 4, 5, or 6. You've got to take that one off, say, or move it up. And now this is a bad structure.
Sure.
So that combination is why the 6, 5, 6, 1 from the original is bad. Okay. We got a couple more. Okay. So here it looks like we played the 6, 5, 6, 4 there. And now what do we do? Well, obviously we're going to take the 6 off, but then do we go 1 off or do we go 5, 4?
Do 1 off.
Clear 1 off.
Okay, 1 off. Yeah, it takes 1 off. And what are our bad rolls now? Well, going by my rule, we're 2 away from the anchor, and because we have a 2 to take off, we don't have any bad shots. So this is really, this is a no a no shot leaving position, so it's not bad. And if we did this, we've got, double sixes, double fives. Actually, no, we're okay. This is
Okay,
also no bad. I'm
6-5.
sorry,
6-5 is only.
6-5, thank you. Yeah, 6-5 is no good here. So we're leaving two bad rolls here. So actually, this one looks like the better move. Let's check it out. Yeah, and it is. Again, because, after the roll, there's no, so, this is an odd one, because normally you don't, you want to clear or make it odd here, but in this case, which is why you go through counting the shots. And, if you remember the 2 rule, you'll see that, it's a 2 rule in this case, but, that there are no shot leaving numbers here. Okay, 2 more. All right, 3-2.
Hmm.
4-1-4-2.
Yes.
Yeah.
4-1-4-2.
Yeah, so, and why does this work?
Not many bad shots.
Yeah, there are no shot leaving numbers here. You've created a gap, which
Yeah.
is normally bad, and actually we don't really like it here very much. But in this case, there's no shot leaving numbers. So 2 is the evil. 2 is the evil roll that we're looking at. Since we have 2s to play, it's not going to hurt us. Double 6s, 5s, 4s, or 3s aren't going to hurt us. Actually double 2s aren't great, but you take 4 off at least. But even that, we're not leaving a shot. So yeah, and this play, taking the 3 off, there are lots of shots here. 5s, 6s, 4s, and 3s are going to leave a shot. So this was the position. That was the original position. And so so clearing the 4-point is right here. And this is off by a lot. It's almost a blunder to do this. Okay. Last one for the 3-point. 6-2. So obviously we're going to take the 6 off. And the question is, do we take 4-2 or do we take the 2 off?
Take the 2 off.
Okay, and why is that? So 2 off. Okay, so how many shots do we leave?
6,
5,
2.
6s, 5s, and
5,
4s. Doubles.
Yeah.
6-2.
6-5 is okay.
6-2.
6-2, yes, is bad. 6-5-2 is bad.
A lot. I would play 4-2 then. Yeah, too many. I think. Oh, no.
Yeah, so I forgot how many we got. 6s, 5s, and 4s are bad. 5-2 and 6-2 are bad. So that's a lot. That's 7 shots, 7 rolls. And so let's go back and look at the alternative. So this is the alternative. Now, what's bad here? All the doubles are good.
6-2, 5-2.
6-2, 5-2 is bad.
2.
That's all.
4 shots.
Yeah.
Anyone see any more?
No.
Mm-mm.
I'm surprised that that's not the.
So it's 4 versus 7, if I got them all. So that would suggest, clearing rather than taking 2 off. However, as it turns out, this is slightly better. So this is kind of an exception to the rule. And the reason is the extra gammons, the 2 checkers off at this point gives you extra gammons.
Only one and
69 if you take,
not much.
69% gammons if you take one off, and 71%. So this is a little bit of an unusual situation. Again, I wouldn't be, I think it's easier just to count shots. And now this is kind of an exception. I really wouldn't worry about the exception, but anyway, it's here. And there are exceptions, so.
I'm surprised by that because I would have thought you're going to get the gammon either way if you're not hit.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty good gammon chance. It's 70% gammons here. And 91% wins, 92% wins.
Gary, in all of these, black has 14 crossovers to get off the gammon.
Yeah.
So why is a high probability of getting a gammon, even if they play the safer play?
Yeah.
But I wonder how all this changes if you have to be aggressive. I don't know, and you really need the gammon.
I've looked at that, and like this, oops. Now, you would think white needs to be more aggressive here, and it does, and there is a little bit of a difference here. The plays were even, and now it's a little bit better to take the 2 off here. Let's make it even more essential. So this comes, but a lot of these that I've looked at, it hasn't made that much difference. So it's very hard to tell. I mean, and you mentioned the kind of the typical thing that you look at is you count crossovers, and there are times, there are other times where we can, in fact, later on in Michi's book, we'll be looking at when you would count crossovers to say tell you whether to play more aggressively or not. It's usually in a containment situation, but here what I found is it usually doesn't make that much difference. Now here, this one was a little more unusual that it did. It's made more difference than I thought. If you remember, we looked at an early one where we kind of crunched the board a little bit, and it didn't matter. The safety is more important than than burying more checkers off. But that's something to keep in mind, and it's not. Michi doesn't mention it. I've kept wondering that myself and trying to look for examples. It rarely seems to matter very much. So the idea that the safety is generally more important than getting the checkers off, because if you get hit, you've lost your gammon chances, and that generally is the deciding factor for this. Okay, so that's it for this chapter. Next time we're going to be looking at bearing off with no contact and bearing off to get off sooner than your opponent, which seems like it would be fairly easy, but it turns out there are a fair number of complexities in that. But that's it for this bearing off against the 3-point. All right, so you stop the recording.